Um, are you okay if I record right now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Well, what was going on there in Alabama where they got caught with those 10 kids, um, that's just essentially what I came from, something like that. And as I understand it, 5 of the kids out of the 10 were related to the people running the operation.
The Trump
So
Epstein
that,
operation.
yes.
Yeah.
And, in as much as these people are going to go down, they were working for somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that those people, and they deserve to go to prison and all of that stuff, but they were running this deal and filming their films and doing all the things that they were doing for somebody else. So whoever, Epstein's not running it anymore. Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison, but I would just about guarantee you that wasn't the end of it.
Yeah. So with those, when we were just discussing with the parties, those torture parties with the girls at the brothels, they'd go to the parties, and often they didn't come back from the parties. We summarize again what was going on there.
Well, sometimes they would go to the party and they would be beaten to death or tortured to death at the party by the client. Other times they would go to the party, and depending on I know sometimes the status of the person that the girls had been an escort for would be problematic because they wouldn't want to leave like a witness. So
you mean like it was an individual that was considered high profile?
Yes. I couldn't name names on that. I don't know who, but yeah, sometimes they didn't want to leave the girl alive.
So how often, when the girls from the brothels would go to the parties, how often did the girls not come back?
If I had to guess, I'd say like half the time.
Half the time.
Yeah. The parties weren't something that happened all that often. Like it'd be around like the federal holidays and stuff like that, Labor Day, 4th of July, where you typically would think of as a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
And, not all of them had parties. Well, I guess all those bigwigs have parties, but, not all of them were those type of parties where they had underage people, I guess. So I don't know how that part was organized.
Yeah. Yeah, so they seem to tie the parties with holiday weekends and things where could be presented sort of like, oh, they were just, it was a Labor Day party, oh, it was like a
Right.
Christmas holiday parties, some parties at the locations, but it was always where the parties were then dwindled to 8 or 10 of the more depraved pedophiles.
Yep.
This was when a lot of the more depraved torture and rape and murder occurred, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I just think that that's an important distinction because a lot of those people that did go to those parties and might have done some cocaine and might have, had an affair or whatever with an escort, it just doesn't rise to the level of what happened towards the end of them. That's a different, there's an illegality of what happened in the beginning of that, but then there's, obviously there's different levels of everything. So, and I think to some degree, the people that were waiting there to the end of the party, they're using all of those other big names and stuff that may have done things that they're not proud of as cover.
Yeah.
It couldn't have possibly happened at this party because, hey, everybody and their brother was at that party.
Well, I think they were and I think they were probably trying to get information on all of those attendees and sort of to use as a protective blackmail layer regarding the more depraved torture and murder of American children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever, in those years, did you ever see anyone other than American children? Yeah, okay. Let me ask you another question. Now, something I think just contextually and just more to get a sense. I know it's not what you would want to swear in a Bible because your recollection is unclear, but you talked about that there are individuals that you thought might have been involved, that you saw at parties that had assaulted you. Are you okay to talk about some of those individuals? Now, I'm asking specifically to get more context, but specifically, especially in terms of how we're looking at proceeding prosecutorially. I want to make sure we're talking to the right folks, especially considering how many folks did attend some of those bigger parties before these whittled down to the hardcore torturers.
I've really kind of shared the people that I have a clear recollection of. The rest of it just kind of melds together into something that I can't verbalize well enough to make an accusation in any direction.
Yeah.
And for some of that type of stuff, you just kind of just go off into another place. There's really no other way I can describe it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you deal with the aftermath,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as the actual incidents, most of them are blurred out.
Mm-hmm. And you said in terms of the parties with the girls with the brothels that when they didn't come back, that they were sort of sold. They were told that the girls had gone on to the mansion or to maybe somewhere, a mansion overseas, to kind of live out their dreams. But in cases, the girls were either tortured and beat to death at the parties or sometimes shot.
Yes.